Here's the anxiety tinnitus feedback loop explained. You hear the sound, so you have the initial onset of you being aware that there is a sound. This sound then triggers a thought. Now, the thought can be catastrophic. The thought can be something like, I can't control this, I'm stuck like this, I feel claustrophobic, something like that. The thought may not be true, or it may be true. It may be true and not be helpful, like, I can't do anything about this. Now, that's a true thought, but is it helpful? Is it helpful to ruminate on? No, it's not. Or the thought may be just completely something you can't even prove, right? Because you don't have a time machine. Like, it might say, I'll never be happy again. Well, how can you prove that? You don't know. You don't even know what you're going to eat in 2 weeks from now. How can you possibly know how you're going to feel 5 years from now? You don't. So, but it feels true. It doesn't stop it from feeling objectively true. Like, it feels like reality, right? So it's like you're not so much thinking, well, I might not be better in 5 years. You're thinking, no, I feel for a factual fact that I'm not going to be good in 5 years. Like, I'm not going to be any better. Like, I'm going to be just where I am now. That's how I'm going to be in 5 years. But that's how you feel, and when you're in the tinnitus anxiety loop. And so this can you can understand how, like, if you're suffering really bad, you feel claustrophobic, you feel like your entire world is invaded with this alien sound, this monstrous sound. You feel horrible, you feel hopeless, you don't have concentration, your entire life is hijacked. You can see why you would have anxiety if you are convinced you're going to be stuck like that forever. And you can see how that anxiety would, it would consume your entire world. And so what it does then, what you do then is that the person then is driven, because they're in fight or flight, right? So they're feeling like a trapped animal, is how a lot of tinnitus sufferers feel like. And I felt that way too when I was in it. You feel like a trapped animal. And so when you're a trapped animal, you're looking for anything, any sort of relief, any sort of, like, help, right? So a lot of times what ends up happening with these people is they go to these online forums, they go to these Facebook groups, and they just sit in there and spiral together. They're all in there spiraling. Well, what about this cure? And what about, I tried ginkgo biloba and maybe it worked. I don't know. And then someone says, I need to try that. And then, they're all getting in there on these groups, and they're talking about tinnitus. And when they're in the worst possible place they feel. So you have to understand, when you read these horror stories and these online stories, they're not telling you about the good days they have. They're just going in there and venting and ranting on the bad days. And so you're not getting an accurate picture of what it's even like. It's like Instagram. It's like going on Instagram and thinking like everyone's life looks like an Instagram reel. Every second of everyone's life. Everyone's life is better than yours. It's not. Okay? People only show you the best of what there's going on in their world. Okay? So you're only seeing the best. You're not seeing, like, the everyday, what everyday life actually looks like. So you have to understand that people are getting inaccurate information because they're being motivated by the anxiety to do something, to find a cure, to try and control it, to find help. And that desire in and of itself is not bad. It's just that what ends up happening is it motivates you, okay, to make tinnitus your identity. Now, you're not trying to do this. This isn't something you're trying to do, right? You would love nothing more than to not have tinnitus. Why would you want tinnitus? You don't even like it. Why do you want to make it your identity? But every time you Google, every time you go online and talk about it, every time you obsess about it, listen to it, try and find a cure, okay, you're making it your identity. That's exactly what's happening, okay? That's why when I coach people, the first thing I tell them, stop listening to it. Well, so people will say, well, I can't help but to listen to it. That's fine. If you're aware of it and you hear it, that is what it is. You can't do anything about that. I mean, listening to it. I mean, like, I've talked to people, they go into bathrooms and they just sit there and listen to it. Oh, my God. Oh, and they just spiral. They spiral and listen to it. That's got to stop. No more, I would say no ruminating at all. No panicking about it. You know, if you hear it and you feel panic, that's one thing, right? But you can bring yourself down, right? I built an application where it basically you can reframe your thoughts, meditate on the fly. You know, you can be feeling bad about tinnitus. Pull out the application, the tinnitus companion, and meditate on the fly. Reframe your thoughts on the fly. Read your recovery statement on the fly. You don't have to stay stuck like this. There is help. It's called habituation. This app basically walks you through habituation. It takes your hand and it walks you into habituation. So you can be sure that you can habituate. You can go back to peace and you can go back to silence. Yes, habituation is silence. Yes, I've returned to silence. Even though I objectively still have tinnitus, I am in silence. Yes, it's called habituation. It's grounded in science. Piles of scientific research. Go look it up. It's the only known cure for tinnitus. If you want to know how to do that, pick up my 7-day tinnitus companion, free trial, link below. Going to help you to habituate. It's going to get you back to silence. It might not be instant, but it works if you put in the time, put in the consistency. You can get there, just like I did. Get your life back. Get back to traveling. Move to HUD if you want to. Anyway, make sure to smash the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps get this information and this treatment to as many tinnitus sufferers as possible. Comment below. I love reading the comments. I don't care if it's hate or love, as long as it's a truthful and honest comment. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you later. Until next time, peace.